Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Working with Working Man Ron Doyle. Glad to see you all coming back to the channel. Got a little hidden secret that I wanted to show you all. If you all are in search for a magnetic mount cell phone holder, due to our current laws, you can't have a handheld device legally in your vehicle traveling down the road. And doing my searches for being able to shoot some video, being able to use my cell phone holder without holding on to it, and jeopardizing getting a ticket driving down the road, I looked for some products on Amazon and found a magnetic mount cell phone holder, which is viewed right here, as you can see. Now this is got a little modification to it. If you notice, this is a plastic dashboard from an F-250 Super Duty Ford truck, and it is the XL series. And as you all know, magnets don't stick to plastic, and this is a plastic dashboard. There is a hidden magnetic mount that I built and put behind this dashboard that you all can't see. This phone and camera mount can be removed, and it can be stuck back down in place. Very durable. You can get different size extension rods. This particular cell phone mount came with the base. And it has two fingers at the bottom that hold it, and one at the top that's spring loaded. And a lot of these cell phone holders, you have to cater around your cell phone, because mine has numerous buttons. It's got 3 buttons on this side, and it's got it's got 2 buttons on the bottom side. But doing this particular hidden mount will enable you to do basically hands-free GPS locating and traveling down the road, making phone calls with being totally hands-free. So I want to show you all how I made this magnetic mount, and it's going to be done on my Chevrolet 2500 HD 2019. The installation is going to vary depending on what vehicle you're doing this to. But you do need a flat spot on the dashboard to do this modification. And as you can see, all of this in here is totally flat. The Ford appears to be a little easier to do than the Chevrolet is going to do, but I'm going to do this demonstration on the 2019 Chevy Silverado and show you all how I did it. Over time, you know there's a lot of products at the store, and I've been using this cup call, which basically inserts into a cup holder, and you have to tighten this to lock it. Well, this makes a little bit of a problem, because you're driving, you're looking forward and you're looking down, you're looking forward and looking down. It makes a problem, and it could get you in some serious trouble looking down too long. You notice all the manufacturers that do your instrument cluster, everything is in a good field of view, especially your radio. You're not looking too far out of your sight, your sight of field, and possibly creating an accident. And that's the nice thing about the way I've got this magnetic mount that holds my cell phone in position. I'm not looking too far down from my field of view to the actual cell phone to see if I got an incoming call, to be able to answer it, or to just listen to music going down the road through my cell phone. So let me show you all the materials list, what you need to do, what you need to have to be able to do this modification. As you can see, I've got this stuck to the back of my service body. This particular cell phone holder is an eye bolt, bought through Amazon. I'll put all the items in the description below for this. But as you can see, this is pretty versatile. I stick this to machinery, holding my cell phone. I stick it to the inside of the utility bed. I stick it to the dashboard. Pretty much anywhere there's steel that's present. What you're going to need to do this modification is some basic hand tools, which we've got a stiff blade putty knife, we've got a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, an extension, and a 7mm socket to pull your radio out. We've got some cotton. We've got some cotton round swabs. If you can't find any of these at the store, you could use a cotton ball. This is to prep the area before you put the adhesive on. We're going to be using the J-B Weld. This sells for right around $8 to $10 a package. Can be bought at most automotive stores. You're going to need a pair of safety glasses, a pair of nitro gloves, 2 wooden shims or paint sticks to mix the J-B Weld together, and Gonna need a piece of cardboard, a cardboard box to mix the J-B Weld on, and I've got a plastic sticker on this box we'll be using to do our mixing. And the key ingredient to this is a Raco round cover plate. Can be bought from a hardware store. You see the Raco name at the bottom, and that is, I believe, bought from Lowe's Home Improvement Store. The other key component that you need to do this hidden magnetic mount is magnets from Amazon. These are N52 neodymium magnets. They're 1/4 inch thick. They are 1.25 inches across. And I'm going to get you set up, and we're going to get this dashboard taken apart so that we can confirm we can do this on 2019 Chevy Silverado. So stay tuned. All right, we're now inside the 2019 Chevy Silverado work truck that I got. And basically you want to establish, don't mind my firewood and my mess, but you want to establish a field of view where your line of sight is not disturbed by the presence of a cell phone. So there's different places that you can actually locate this, and you want to really look at your vehicle and take a magnetic mount that you want to use and put it in different locations and see if it disturbs your field of view, see if it disturbs your shifter, where your shifter is coming in contact with the screen of your cell phone, where potentially it's coming in conflict with hand grabs or the turning radius, such as up here. If you were to stick it up here, the turning radius of your steering wheel. You want to make sure that you do your homework before you permanently mount this, because once you mount it, it's pretty much a done deal. And I'm going to get you set up in this ball mount that you see on the ceiling. And this is the ball mount, the 1-inch ball mount that actually came with this cell phone holder. Like I said, the magnetic part was a separate purchase, all bought through the same time. And it has 6 neodymium magnets. You can see the bottom of it is, I got to put it on a rough surface and scratch the rubber coating off the bottom. But that rubber coating will keep your dashboard in pristine condition. But we want to hide a magnet underneath of this dashboard. So what we're going to have to do is take out this bezel assembly that covers up the air cowling for the vents coming out, and covers up your radio installation and your auxiliary switches and your climate control. And I'm going to show you all how to remove all this so that you can do a hidden mount on your 2019 Chevy Silverado truck. If you don't have a Chevy Silverado and you're looking for another type of vehicle to do this installation in, I would highly recommend that you do a search on how to remove this bezel out of your vehicle. They are very thin, especially the Chevrolet compared to the Ford. You do it in the wrong fashion, you're going to break it and cost more money in doing a repair than doing this modification on this hidden magnetic mount that we're getting ready to do. So what I've done was established reference marks on my dashboard. See if you can see them. I've got my reference marks situated in that fashion, and I want the hidden magnet to be under this part of the dashboard. Now, doing this particular installation, you can see the distance across and how this lines up. I found that 6 magnets doing this modification works the best. I tried doing bar magnets, I've tried doing speaker magnets, I've tried doing 4 of these, 5 of these. Ended up the magic number for this particular magnetic mount was 6. Now, magnetic mounts, if you're not aware, there's a north and a south pole on every magnet, and basically you're aligning these magnets on this round cover plate so that the magnets will attract to each other. And I'm going to show you how I've aligned these, because if you don't align them right, they will repel from each other, and it's possibly you're not going to have as much strength in your hidden magnetic mount that I do on mine. So let me put you in the ball mount, and let's take this bezel assembly apart. Now, after you get your arm located and your cell phone located where your cell phone is being held and it's not being hit by any shifters, steering wheel, your hand rotation, you get it located on your dashboard. You want to take your magnetic mount and get it in that place and put 4 little dots around where you want your magnetic mount to actually land. So you've got to have a flat spot, or somewhat of a flat spot, on your dashboard for this installation to work. We've got it, and I'm going to take the magnet and I'm going to rock it. This with magnetic mount with 1-inch ball. It rocks ever so slightly. The neodymium magnets that we're hiding in this dashboard are going to compensate for that little bit of rock that it has. Another spot you could put it is there's somewhat of a flat spot right on the top of the dashboard, right up in here. But I found that it disturbs my my field of view, and I don't want it that high up. So I'm going to locate mine over on this side. And the first step after we've marked out our location is we're going to take off this bezel assembly. I've already pre-loosened it. Get you zeroed down. Get you zeroed down here so you can get a better view of this. Grasp underneath of here, right underneath the air controls, and ever so slightly you want to pull. Be very careful to pull very slow. This bezel assembly is very, very thin. And if you have to, use the aid of a putty knife, preferably a stiff blade putty knife or a stiff plastic blade. You get off your bezel assembly. As you can see, looking at it, I've lost one clip, and apparently it's stuck right here. I'm going to pull. Oh boy, she's stuck. But the magnet pulled it out for me. I'm going to insert this back onto here so we've got it when we go to put our bezel back in. Just be careful. This stuff is real flimsy, and you can break it. The next step you want to do, turn the ignition off. I'm going to take off, take out the 7mm hex head screws. There's one there, one here. Oh, don't drop them. There's another one right here. There's another one over here. Finish removing those. Got those screws removed. Now you want to grab your stereo instrument console and pull. There's two retainer clips on this side and this side. Let's not play the radio, we'll get demonetized. Now you can see there's a series of clips. Yeah. There's a series of clips on this back side. We want to push this button in the middle and release. There's another one right here. Push. Push and release. And there's one more right here. Put your finger in the middle of it. A little bit of a problem with that one. Contributed my fat fingers. Get you zeroed down a little bit better. Alright, so we've released the radio face. Now, this particular plate, these are arranged. These are very strong. Don't get your fingers between the metal and the magnet. And if you look to see how I've got that situated, this magnet is pushing that one out. So the way that these work, the best thing to do is stick them to the plate and orient them in a fashion where they want to stick to each other. Do your alignment on your plate, such as so. And what we're going to end up doing is cleaning this plate with the magnets in place, and we're going to use J-B Weld to adhere this to the bottom of the dashboard. But before we get to that point, we want to do some reference marks on this plate to know the best orientation for our mag mount that's sitting on our dashboard. Now, like I said, this could be installed up here. Let you pan down a little bit. Now we've got a void that we can slip this under. I'm going to release these two computer clips. And what you could do is put this underneath of the dashboard with the magnets facing up, the plate facing down. Take your mag mount and get it positioned. You can take this and rotate it and find out what is the best grab force that your mag mount has just by turning it. And you can find out how much rock you'll have before you actually epoxy this in place. Now, like I said, my field of view, I don't want it up in this location. So what I'm going to end up doing is mounting this this magnet pack that I'm putting together under this location. Now, this air vent right here has got to be removed. It's held in with 3 7mm bolts that we're going to remove right now. Let's see if I can get my fat hand up underneath of there. We've loosened it, so we don't need the ratchet. You pull your screws out. Make sure you don't drop them. All these screws appear to be the same size and appear to be the same length as what holds in your stereo face. This should come right out, which it does. So it appears that I get my big hand up under there. So before I pull this off, I'm gonna get my hand under there and feel for that plate and release it. Keep this handy. So if you accidentally drop that magnet plate that we're gonna be hiding down inside, it might be a bad thing. So keep this handy. If you drop it, you can stick this to the dashboard to recover it before it falls. So now we're going to situate this up in here. Try to keep the magnets away from the stereo equipment. Now this magnet mount is going to tell you where it wants to be. Now I'm going to slide it back. Keep your hand on it, because if you drop it, you may not be able to recover it too easy. And now what I'm going to do is rotate this magnet until I found the best possible position with the most holding force. And I think I found it right there. She's locked in pretty good. And I'm going to make sure we're on our marks. If you're not on your mark, slide the magnet around until it falls in place. I'm in between my marks, and we've got a good hold on it. So what I'm going to do is feel the orientation of the round plate that's underneath. The slot and the notch, the hole in the slot, is located right here. So what I'm going to do is pull this back off, holding my hand there. I'm going to pull the plate back out. Kind of tricky. All this is plastic, so we don't have to worry about this getting stuck to anything in there, but keep it away from your stereo. Now, as a reference, on this bottom, we've got this oriented the way we want it. We've got good holding force between the magnet mount, the plastic dashboard, and this plate. This was at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to put a reference mark out toward myself, and I'm going to put 7 o'clock on it for that location. When I slip this back in, I want it to go in that direction with the arrow pointing to me. So let's go outside, clean this up, mix up some J-B Weld, and get this in place. First thing we're going to do is put on our safety glasses. I'm going to take our plate, and we're going to take some brake cleaner, which I didn't mention earlier in the video, brake parts cleaner, and we're going to take and spray this and get all the oil and residue off. And also it will take your lines off if you just noticed that. Just make sure you remember your reference point. We're going to set this to the side and let this air dry. As we're mixing up our J-B Weld. And we've got a box. And this J-B Weld here that we're using is a equal parts mixing ratio. And on this particular product, it needs 6 hours. It needs 4 to 6 hours of set time. Cure time is 15 to 24 hours. And you don't have to have the speed set J-B Weld for this product to work. The reason why I say that is because we're going to be using our magnetic mount to hold that base plate in position. So this is a little cold to the touch and still a little damp, and we will be putting our J-B Weld in this fashion and gooping it up pretty heavy so that it marries to the bottom of the dashboard. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and clean the bottom of the dashboard before we prep this. Alright, we're back in the truck. We want to put a little bit of alcohol on this so that we can prep our area where this is going to be glued. What you could do is take your stick, lay that on your stick, your mixing paddle, get that up in position. Try not to drop it like I just did. Whoops. Well, if a blunder is going to happen, it's going to happen in a video. Alright, a little bit more rubbing alcohol on there. We're going to go on the skinny side of this, and need to clean the bottom of this dashboard. See if I can get my hand in there. Tight fit. I can't get it all. Let's try this. Try this again. I think that did the trick. You can tell there's a little bit of residue on that. I'm going to cut this cardboard box up. I'm going to save part of the box and use it for the inside so we don't get it on, get this J-B Weld on anything. We're going to do a mixing on this. Now before we put our J-B Weld on this, I'm going to heat this up a little bit and get any moisture that's in this plate out, and making sure that we have a proper, dry, and clean surface. Get your magnets oriented the way they were. You want to heat that up so it's not hot to the touch, it's just warm. When we got that done, we're going to put our gloves on and mix up the J-B Weld. The last time I did this, I used the whole tubes. Both tubes. So unscrew the cap, pierce the top with the piercing. That looks like enough. Didn't quite use it all. Pierce the top. Put this one beside it. Now, when you get done spreading this on the cardboard, you should have the same amount left over in each tube, which I do. So we've got that on our cardboard. We're going to take our paint stick or shim, wood shim, we're going to mix that up. It's going to turn to a gray consistency. Keep stirring until you have it mixed up. Now you're going to see something very interesting happen to this when we spread it on these magnets. Got our clean magnets. We're going to spread our epoxy on it. I'm going to get you in for a close-up on this, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is wild to see. I'm going to spread it in the center, and you're going to watch this. It has magnetic properties to it, ferrous material. You're going to see these magnets react to this chemical. This is where I want my safety glasses on. If you can see, I'm putting it in the middle. The magnets are forcing it to the outside. Now, I want more epoxy than that. I'm going to finish mixing this up. If you notice, we're putting more on it and it's spreading it right out. Get you set up in the truck on a magnet mount. We're going to get this stuck in position. Alright, as you can see, I got cardboard set up. I've got an arrow referenced on the top of my magnet. I want it in this location, and I want it facing to me, and I wanted this into 7 o'clock. So we're going to very carefully slip this in the dashboard, trying not to get it on everything. I'm going to pull this away. Kind of tricky. Oh, don't want it there. If you feel that the plate with the magnets on it is getting away from you, stick this magnet down. Don't let it go too long. Now, the more I move this around, the more it shifts on me. You want to try to find your orientation that you originally had picked out. Moving this around will help it line up to give you the best possible chance of the strongest grab. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Now, you want to leave this here, and my reference to you is leave this for a week. Do not take this ball mount off, leave it in this truck, and let this epoxy sit up on the, under the dashboard. Now clean up all your excess so that it doesn't stick any parts together permanently, such as your air ducting that's under here. After you get that done, go ahead and take your cardboard out of the truck. Let's get our air vent back in position. Attach your 7mm screws. Don't ever tighten these. Just a little snug. And get your wiring harnesses hooked back up to your onboard computer. Make sure that the connectors are all the way in. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Try to do this without getting my big nugget in the way where you can't see what I'm doing. Make sure all your connectors are in place. Keep in mind, if you're using nitrile gloves, I usually do multiple layers. And you want to make sure that you rip a layer off if you contaminate it with the J-B Weld, so you're not marking up any of the stereo facings with J-B Weld. Push this back in place. There's two clips, one on either side, that you need to reinstall. And you're going to reinstall these 4 screws around the perimeter. Get all this snugged up. Take your basil. Make sure all your clips are back in the place they need to be. This smooth part goes across the top. Push that in first. Sometimes this can be a little tricky. Alright, that's installed. Now I'm going to get this magnetic mount back in here so I can show you how this looks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps this little segment up, doing a modification to your dashboard for a magnetic mount that is totally invisible, that you cannot see. Here's the overall results. Now, right now, I've got to leave this, I'm going to leave this on for about a week to make sure that J-B Weld adheres nice and good to the bottom of that plastic, the underside of this dashboard. And that's in the horizontal viewing mode. And that is in the vertical viewing mode. And you can see the charging cable, which is below, still has enough room to be left in on charge. And one of the biggest benefits of doing this particular install, some cell phones get pretty warm to the touch being in direct sunlight of the windshield. And also in the charging mode, they actually get warm, and you can actually open your vent up, point your vent straight up, and give some cooling to the bottom of your phone so it doesn't overheat. And this ends up being a real appealing option in my book, as far as hiding a magnetic mount in the dashboard. I did not want steel plates stuck to my dashboard in any fashion. It helps the resale of your vehicle if you haven't done modifications, and this is a modification that you will not know. Nobody will know this but you. Got little dots on the dashboard. You could get off with some cleaner from a permanent marker. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you all liked this video and thought this video was helpful and informative in any way, and you're looking to do this modification to your vehicle, give me a comment down below that you liked it. Consider subscribing to my channel for future videos on things electricians do. I wish you all a wonderful and blessed day. Until the next time, stay safe out there.